Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Off the Bench. I'm your host, Jermaine, and I'm joined by my co-host, KC. Say what's up to the people, KC.
How y'all doing? Missed y'all, man. We were off last week.
Yeah, we were off
for Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, we were off. I've been gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, we got a lot to talk about, man. Lots been going on since last week, 2 weeks. Was a whole lot.
Oh, yeah. It's a fun season.
It is a fun
so
season.
far.
It is a fun season. It's a little bit confusing season because of decisions that's being made. But, I mean, I would be, it would be irresponsible of me to not start off by saying, Derrick Rose, you've had one amazing career, but it's over. It's over, man. Derrick Rose is injured again. More of like a freak play type of thing. And it's hard, man, because he's considering retiring. And the question is because there's two questions that's been going on: whether the Cavs should want him back, especially with Isaiah Thomas coming back, and the team seeming to still they stunk it up early on, but now it looks like they're starting to figure it out. I don't know what the chemistry issues is that Derrick Rose isn't on the court that may help him out, or whatever the case may be. So like it's like a two-part question.
Yeah, man. It's like.
So what do you think? Like, let's do it this way. In your opinion, should Derrick Rose retire?
In my opinion, first off, I got to shout out the great career that Derrick Rose has had. I mean, he's super exciting.
It sounds crazy saying that because Derrick Rose is only 29, really?
He's 29.
29. Like,
but man,
we're saying that like he's like 40 and like he's on the other side. Like, it's just crazy that you have to say like I think the thing is that with him saying he's thinking about just retiring is why we have that type of tone, like thing like that.
Yeah, man, because it's almost like we saw his rise and fall the entire thing, and it's kind of. It didn't seem like it was such a long period of time, but his body did endure a whole lot. And every time he gets hurt, it's some old freak thing. It's nobody nudged him, nobody bumped him. They didn't click knees together or anything. It's just some freak play, and he'll end up hurt. But if you see him play, he's always been an aggressive style player. So that kind of play, even though it's a good way to play and it's intimidating to the opposite people, it could lead to you getting hurt early. Like. I'll example. He plays real aggressive. I mean, he does a lot of hard stops, a lot of hard cuts. So of course that's going to be hard on your knees after a while. He could jump out the gym. He used to be able to jump out the gym. Being a small man like that could jump like that. I mean, that wore him down. I hate that he's retiring, but
he's thinking about it. It's not official.
Well, yeah, right. I hate that.
Retiring.
I hate that's something that he got to consider now. But for his family. Me and that I have a family, sometimes you got to think about what's best for you, man.
Listen, he got in trouble a couple of years ago because he was talking about, his family, and he called it, even from me, I gave Derrick Rose a lot of heat because when he was still in Chicago and his contract was coming due, he kept talking about the potential money he can make when, you ain't playing like 2 years. That was insane to me. You can't talk about the money you're going to get from when you ain't play a game.
Right.
He played, but it was come on, you really play season.
That's how good you are, though. That's that potential, man. They're like, yo, I'll pay you because I know when you come back.
No, but let's fast forward. That was like 2-3 years ago. Fast forward to now, man. I had a thing with my nephew. My nephew, because he's a huge Derrick Rose fan. And when the season started, because he's talking about, once Derrick Rose gets in the starting lineup with LeBron, I mean, Isaiah Thomas is going to have to come off the bench. Derrick Rose is back. Right. I'm like, okay, yeah, he had a good season last season. It was okay. And, it's crazy because it wasn't a spectacular season by Derrick Rose standards, but the fact that he was actually able to play
that's the key.
A couple of games was like, okay, wow.
Yeah, for what you used to from Derrick Rose, you'd be like, oh, it's subpar. But if it was just a player come up, you're like, yo.
It was Jose
That was a good season. Right.
Okay, that was an excellent season.
If it was Dellavedova, you're like, Dellavedova might be.
He tore it up. But, I mean, listen, he was the third leading scorer in New York. He was the third best player behind Carmelo and Porzingis. And
that's kind of rightfully so.
Yeah,
that's the order I think you would want it.
Yeah, but I think now at this particular phase, let's say he says, "All right, I still got a little bit left." His game is gonna have to change so much that he's gonna have to. He's gonna be relegated to the bench.
You saying Derrick Rose?
His days Derrick Rose's days of starting are over. He's not. He can't even be a six man because like they say, it's an old cliche. The best form of ability is availability, and you can't trust Derrick Rose to be available. You just can't.
It's sad, but it's true.
And then
to depend on him for a season, to lead your team
if
somewhere.
If he's your point guard for the season, you're in a world of trouble. Like if he's the only point guard you have, you're in a world of trouble because he's not going to be able to hold up. And it's not his fault. It's not like, okay, Derrick Rose is just checked out. No, his body is betrayed him. And the thing is that
it's basically what
his body's betrayed him.
Yeah.
When your game is predicated on your athleticism. And he's an above the rim type player.
That's what he's always been.
That's always what he's been. So when your legs give out on you, what else are you gonna have to do? So he's gonna he has some serious decisions to make, and his career his career reminds me of Brendan Roy. Brendan Roy was an excellent. I talked about Brendan Roy a couple of weeks ago.
Just a little
Brendan
bit.
Roy was an excellent player. To me, Brendan Roy is one of my favorite players, and he didn't even have a long career because he was the mid-range Kevin Durant. Like if he was inside the arc.
Brandon Roy. I don't know why I can't place that name. That's kind of how he faded out of my mind.
He played for the Portland Trail Blazers. The Portland Trail Blazers. This was after the Rasheed Wallace and the Portland Jail Blazers.
Okay.
Era. It was like right in that in the early 2005-ish era.
Yeah.
Brandon Roy was money in the bank. Like
for 4 months.
No, for a couple of years, but then just like his leg. And the sad thing about Brandon Roy was it wasn't even like his game was. He was an above the rim player. He was a shooter. He could cut. He was. Brandon Roy was just special, but once again, his body betrayed him, man.
I think it's just a bigger deal when we speak in Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose represents something. See, our era, a lot of people our age, a little bit young, they were all Bulls fans. I never really particularly liked the Bulls, not because I'm a hater. Well, probably is because I'm a hater. I used to watch Michael Jordan. I couldn't believe he was doing what he was doing. I thought it was fake, so I didn't like him, but. Most people I know, they love Michael Jordan. And then when Derrick Rose went to the Bulls, that almost was like, oh, the Bulls are back.
No.
That gave people a reason to want to do something.
I don't.
The Bulls are back.
And I never understood that because.
Come on now, because he came in when Ben Gordon was there. And Ben Gordon was doing good.
But Ben Gordon left.
Right, and then he came and he brought that extra spark, man. When he made come on now, them first couple of years, man.
Yeah, but they I don't understand where the expectations of the Bulls being back came from and during that time period because listen, that team was pretty mediocre.
Yeah, but he was a superstar.
He was a superstar,
so
pretty mediocre.
Right, and that's how it started when Jordan came to the Bulls way back. So it was kind of the same pattern. They're figuring they could build around it.
I understood the comparison as far as, I guess in the sense that you said we have a superstar back in Chicago.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose. Yeah, if you say it like that, I understand.
Yeah.
But it was only one season. You see what I mean?
It was about 2 seasons, but you know, when you're waiting for your team to get good, it don't matter when they get good.
I hear you.
It's like, oh, we're back.
Yeah,
I'm a Cowboy fan. I say that every year.
We're back. Listen.
And I get disappointed.
Listen, and
every year, but it's okay.
I get it.
We'll be back next year.
Maybe. But back to Derrick Rose. Like I said, he's got a decision to make, and I don't think it's only his whether he's gonna stop. The pros of him retiring would be like, listen, you don't got to go under the knife anymore. You don't have to worry about. You just deal with, your bad legs, things like that. And you got a couple of $100 million reasons why you could sit and relax. Okay, you got a couple of $100 million deals. So you're financially you're good.
Yeah.
So you don't need to play basketball. Like you're pretty much secure.
Yeah.
Psychologically, I don't think it'll take like another pro of him retiring is that from the psychological aspect of it, that he doesn't because we could like he's become a running joke. He can't stay healthy. It's a joke. So and
it's a joke to people who are not, but his fans, you know. He's like them as Jenkins, you know. Don't say nothing about Derrick Rose.
Yeah, because his fans are delusional.
Okay.
Like all you, my nephew, all you Derrick Rose fans are delusional. Like his days of being Derrick Rose are over.
Man, they got hope, man.
And unless he significantly changes his game, because he has a jump shot, but he's never been a great shooter. He's not a Steph Curry type shooter. Like that's not his game. He's always getting to the rack.
Right.
So he can facilitate, but he facilitates a lot by getting into the paint, which goes back to his athleticism. So now he's not gonna be as athletic. So how effective can he be? So I mean, he's 29. He's that's nowhere near. I think you saw kind of over the hill at like 36. Something like that. So he still, as far as age-wise, he still has a couple of years left. But I think that those years are on a bench. And if I think like 10 to 15 minutes a game, and if he can accept that, then I would say just get well soon. Derrick Rose, come back, and you can accept that.
I think that's where he is.
Yeah,
and he has to be.
But then if you can't accept that, then
you gotta go. Yeah, see the thing, that's another thing about him, man, and I love him, and I want to say things like, maybe his veteran leadership could help another team, but he's never actually been that far. He's never actually been healthy enough to take his team far. They went to the playoffs, I think, once.
No, they went a couple of times. They went once or twice.
But it wasn't deep, and of course they didn't. They
went against even though that Miami series wasn't even really.
Yeah, it was kind of non-comparable. So he can, just like you say, he could be somebody that can contribute. He could come off the bench because he still has a lot to offer. But like you say, you can't rely on him for a season. If you're trying to pick him to be a starting point guard for a whole season, you're putting your money behind that, then you're going to lose that bet.
I don't think there's a team crazy enough at this particular point.
I think it's certain teams, man, that need people.
This Cleveland thing was it. The Cleveland experiment was it. Because you're seeing that he was doing well in New York, so you said, okay, maybe we can harbor something.
It's too much there.
This right here, this Cleveland